Hi there, my name's Simon Drew, and I'd like to welcome you to the Practical Stoic Podcast, where I give you practical Stoic advice for modern times. If you'd like to learn more about Stoicism, or if you want some added inspiration in your day, just go to my website. It's risetothegoodlife.com. If you're interested in transforming your life with Stoic principles, then I also offer one-on-one coaching. To book your first free session, just head to risetothegoodlife.com/coaching and follow the links. But for now, enjoy this episode. Hi there, my name's Simon Drew and welcome to the Practical Stoic Podcast. Before I start the episode today, I thought it would be fun to go through the top 10 countries who listen to this podcast. And so starting with 10th place, we have Spain with 0.85% of the listeners. Then tying for 9th place, we have Brazil and the Philippines with 0.9% each. Then in 8th place, we have New Zealand with 0.99% of the listeners. In 7th place, we have the Netherlands with 1.38% of the listeners. Hong Kong is in 6th place with 2.07% of the listeners. Germany comes in at number 5 with 2.25%. Followed by none other than my home country, Australia, in 4th place with 4.89%. Then we have Canada in 3rd place with 7.47%, followed by the United Kingdom in 2nd place with 10.06%. And then in 1st place we have none other than Kazakhstan with, no, I'm just kidding. They did place, but I think they're number 69 with 0.01% of the listeners. No, the true winners are the United States, of course, with 55.93% of the listeners. So thank you to all of the listeners over in the United States. Thank you so much for becoming the number 1 listener to this podcast. In today's episode, my message is very simple. Mind your own business. You know, in today's hyper-connected world where it's so easy to see where people are and what they're up to and what they're saying and who they're with, it can often seem like there is no escaping other people's business. But I would argue that now, more than ever before, it is important to detach oneself from the world of updates and focus back in on one's own life. I read a quote recently from Marcus Aurelius that reminded me of the importance of minding my own business and bringing my attention back to my own mind. He said, quote, "Don't waste the rest of your time here worrying about other people, unless it affects the common good. It will keep you from doing anything useful. You'll be too preoccupied with what so-and-so is doing and why, and what they're saying, and what they're thinking, and what they're up to, and all the other things that throw you off and keep you from focusing on your own mind." End quote. When I read this quote, I could only think of one person, and that person was Kim Kardashian. I wondered how many millions of people around the world have spent hours and days following every update, every tweet, and every word that comes out of her mouth. And I couldn't help but wonder how different the world might be if all of those people had spent a comparable amount of time focusing on their own efforts, their own words, their own actions, and their own purpose. You know, we live in a time where there is more opportunity than ever before for us to immerse ourselves in the lives of other people. And in a way, this has successfully kept many people away from immersing themselves in their own lives. So I want to ask you about your own life. How much time do you spend focusing on what other people are saying? How much time do you spend looking at what other people are doing? How much time, in comparison, do you spend truly focusing on your own life and your own purpose? I want to share another quote here, but this time it's from Epictetus. He said, quote, "Keep your attention focused entirely on what is truly your own concern, and be clear that what belongs to others is their business and none of yours. If you do this, you will be impervious to coercion, and no one can ever hold you back. You will be truly free and effective, for your efforts will be put to good use and won't be foolishly squandered finding fault with or opposing others." End quote. So there you have it from the master himself. Don't concern yourself with what other people are doing or saying, but instead mind your own business. And in this passage, Epictetus makes another great point, which is that we should stop spending so much time trying to find fault in other people. How much time do we all spend thinking about how shameful this person has been, or how unkind that person has been, or how much this person has embarrassed themselves? But what about you? What about your own life? What kind of person are you being right now? Who have you been and who are you becoming? So, what benefits can we receive by only focusing on who we are and what we are doing? Well, Epictetus already said that we will be impervious to coercion and no one will be able to hold us back. And this makes sense, seeing as we will be spending our time effectively and we will not need the approval or praise of anyone else. We will be completely self-reliant, focused only on how we can move forward in the most efficient way. Or, as Epictetus put it, we will be truly free and effective because our efforts will be put to good use and won't be foolishly squandered. And there's another promise that he gave which I haven't yet read. He said, quote, "In knowing and attending to what actually concerns you, you cannot be made to do anything against your will. Others can't hurt you, and you won't incur enemies or suffer harm." End quote. This really makes perfect sense, seeing as much of the hurt and suffering that we experience in life is a direct result from meddling in affairs that have nothing to do with us. We often make the mistake of pouring our time and effort into other people's business, and into situations over which we have no control. But if you focus on yourself, and if you spend all of your time and energy trying to make yourself a better person, then you have all the control, and no one can take that away from you. So stop getting involved in other people's business. Stop focusing on what other people are doing or saying. Stop finding faults in others and getting upset over what they're doing. Mind your own business. Take care of the person who you are becoming. Dig deep into your own actions, your own affairs, your own faults. Make yourself better, and as you do, you'll find greater joy, greater fulfillment, and greater freedom. Hey everyone, thank you so much for listening to this episode, and thank you so much for supporting the Practical Stoic Podcast. I really appreciate all of you who are commenting online or sending me emails or starting discussions in our Practical Stoic Mastermind on Facebook. Everything that you do in this Stoic community is helping to spread the word of Stoicism to people who might not yet know how amazing this philosophy is. I also just wanted to quickly apologize for the very poor quality of the recording here. Here on the Sunshine Coast, we're actually going through a bit of a rainstorm, a rainy period, and although the weather is absolutely amazing, it's not that fun to record a podcast in. So anyway, thank you so much again. I'll talk to you in the next episode, but until then, I hope that this episode has helped you on your rise to the good life. Ciao. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Practical Stoic Podcast. I hope that you've gotten a lot of value out of it, and I hope that it helps you to live a better life. If you have enjoyed the podcast, then don't forget to subscribe so that you'll be the first to know when there are new episodes. If you really love the podcast, then I would appreciate a positive review, whether that's on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever else you listen. Don't forget that if you're interested in one-on-one Stoic coaching, then you can head to risetothegoodlife.com/coaching to book your first free session today.